Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Terry J, and it's time to talk SEC football as a whole, right? Because, we like to do a lot of bragging, especially down south, about how the SEC holds it down and how everyone else is trying to play to the level of the SEC. And it's basically, we're a national championship factory machine. At least we have been since like the 2000s, all right? But here's the thing. All right. With Texas and Oklahoma joining, seemingly in the last reports I read where they could join as early and they want to start their season as early as 2024, which is going to be interesting. I can't wait for that. And I'm assuming that Texas will join in the West if things hold up. If we still have divisions, things will hold up. Texas will be in the West, and I'm assuming Oklahoma will go to the East. But here's where things get interesting, right? I read a report that said, should the SEC abolish with division? Should they just get rid of the East and the West, and then at the end of the season, the top two teams the teams at the top play each other for the SEC championship, and then go on? Interesting concept, right? But let's first dive a little bit deeper into the SEC itself, because while many teams like to, and keep in mind, we're just talking football, we're not talking basketball or baseball. We're talking football only. SEC. I feel as though the SEC West definitely holds up. It definitely holds up the SEC. Now, if you're going to take offense to that. If you're a Georgia fan, a Florida fan, Tennessee, I really don't care. But, if you're a Georgia, Florida fan, I get it. You're going to take offense, especially since Georgia's coming fresh off of their first national championship like ever. But let's just take a look at it. SEC as a whole has won 26 national championships. And before I'm going to give you a second to think about which teams have won how many championships. Again, I repeat, the SEC has won 26 national championships. Let's break it down, though. Alabama has won 13 of them. I hate to say that out loud, but yes, Bama has won 13 of those bad boys. Next up is LSU with 4. They've won 4 national championships. Florida would be next with 3. Then you have Tennessee and Auburn tied for 2. And then after that, Ole Miss at some point in time, and Georgia just recently won a national championship. Now, if we take that marker, the starting marker, and let's just not pay attention to pre-2000, right? Let's just do the past pretty much 2 decades. Let's start at 2000. Since 2000, Alabama has won 6 national championships. LSU has won 3 national championships. Florida with 2. Then you have Auburn with 1 and Georgia with 1. Now, if you want to break it down a little bit further, let's do the math on that. The SEC West, if you add up Bama, LSU, and Auburn, you get 10 championships between those 3 teams. Now, if you add Florida and Georgia on the SEC East, that's 3 national championships. Look at that. The difference there. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Bama's pretty much holding it down. Well, yeah, Bama's doing what it's not Bama's fault they're in the West. All right. But at least if you look past Alabama, look at LSU. LSU's doing their thing, too. Auburn at least got one of, obviously, the Cam Newton years. But that's 10 still doesn't negate the fact it's 10-3 national championships East versus West. So this is when I start looking at things. I'm like, okay, should we want to get rid of the divisions? And I've been having this complaint almost every year, but it kind of makes LSU what it is, and it makes the Bamas what they are, is we play each other and we pretty much destroy each other. When Texas A&M came into the fold, I feel Texas A&M got better. And then I feel like Missouri went to the East, and it was just honestly, I feel like there's truly not really too much competition in the East. And Georgia fans, you can at me, you can say what you want, but honestly, it's until Florida gets back to its Tebow years, which, being honest, Florida hasn't been truly, I feel like Florida hasn't really been Florida since its Tebow years. Like when Tim Tebow stepped on the field, I was like, oh my God, we're playing Florida. And Florida just always kind of found a way to win. Those Urban Meyer Florida years was just something to see. They struck fear kind of in teams like Alabama with Nick Saban does now. Like, respectfully, Florida they played hard. They had a lot of great players coming out of Florida. But then after Tim Tebow left, it's been in kind of up and down situation for Florida. So therefore, Georgia with Kirby Smart and them, Georgia's been kind of maintaining and been elevating ever since then in the culmination of a national championship. Now, how much can Georgia keep this pace up? We're going to see. That's what it's about, keeping the same pace, creating something that's going to continue to carry through for years to come, right? But other than that, it's just a two-legged race over there in SEC East land. Because yes, Kentucky, while Kentucky's on the rise with their football program, I'm not seeing them as national championship contenders. Maybe, who knows, right? Who knows? But currently, it's Georgia's to lose almost every year. Tennessee gets high praise at the beginning of the season, and they fall off per usual. As South Carolina, South Carolina, they're still trying to figure themselves out. But again, where's the competition in the SEC East? It's Georgia's to lose up until they get to play for the SEC championship, and then you get to see what they're really made of. Meanwhile, in the SEC West, you have Texas A&M that can have a good year. Alabama's going to be Alabama. LSU, for the most part, it's great. Up until you find out what LSU's about once they play Alabama, which is a top tier program. And then Auburn can have a random year where they're either great or they're just a mixed bag of nuts. And then don't forget about the Mississippi teams, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Randomly, if they're having great years, then the whole SEC and Arkansas can go from a pile of hot trash garbage to like a really good team out of nowhere. So again, it's just so much competition on the West. And I just feel like the East just needs that balance. It almost seems like too patty cake, easy. So that's why I would be willing to say, hey, let's get rid of these divisions, right? I would say let's mix it up a little bit. And looking at one of the reports, especially with these meetings that are going on with the SEC directors and the powers that be are trying to figure out scheduling and trying to keep some type of balance and keep some type of situation going where, it's more competitive. Apparently there's a 3-6 system and there's a 9-game schedule that they're discussing and an 8-game schedule that they're discussing. The 9-game schedule discussion, and you could let me know, please. I want to hear your thoughts as well. I want to know what you think about this situation. And let's go with the 3-6 schedule first, which is the 9-game schedule. That means 3 permanent rival games. And then you get 6 rotating opponents. All right. So that means you're going to at least you're going to get 3 rivals, right? No matter what, that's going to be in the conference. And then you're going to get 6 rotators. I feel like I kind of like that one because that kind of keeps it like I wouldn't, being an LSU fan, I still want my Alabama game. But then I want to have my Auburn game, and I probably between Texas A&M and Arkansas. I would love to see one of those 2 teams be another rival. And other than that, let's see who we play. We play who we play, right? The other format is the 8-game format where it's 1 rival and 7 rotating opponents. That whole 1 rival thing, I mean, it doesn't give me, I guess, there will always be one true rival, right? Like one, you can't stand that team. But I feel like 3 kind of creates more of beefs because you're going to consistently see 3 teams. And I feel like the SEC family as a whole, rivals are always, there's families, especially when we talk about, actual families, like people to people where one son may have went to Auburn and another son went to Alabama, or one daughter went to Florida, the other one went to Georgia. Like those all these different type of beefs, all the drama it just creates more. And I want more drama. I always want more drama. So I think that's why I would go with the 3 to 6 scheduling versus the 1 to 7 rotator, because having 1 rival's cool and it intensifies a lot. But when you get to just add more drama on top of it, it just makes it for a fun time. But again, also too, going back to this, my argument of getting rid of divisions, I think it would make the SEC East more competitive. And that's what I want, because with the SEC East being more competitive, if you get rid of that, then that means the best teams have to show up. And, you get to see, then Georgia will get to play more of the Texas A&Ms. They'll get to play more of the Auburns and the Arkansas, and the Floridas will get to play more of, And if we mix it up more, and I would rather see that. But then again, how does that affect the teams on the West? Because I feel like iron sharpens iron. And so because the SEC West is used to playing at such a high level, will that bring those teams down who play on the West if we start playing in more easier teams? Because let's face it, the Vanderbilts, the Kentuckys, the South Carolinas, the Missouris of the SEC. Would I love to see those teams on my schedule? Absolutely. Because until they get to where they need to be, I automatically chalk those teams up as W's when LSU plays. But at the same time, I need my level of gameplay to be high. So I know that when I play the Alabamas, when we play the Auburns, when we play the Texas A&Ms, I need us to have a certain level I need us to have a certain level of games played and a certain level of game experience that we are ready for whatever type of team. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. But do you want to should we get rid of divisions in the SEC? That's the true question. All right. What is the benefits? What is the cons? What do you think about that? And what do you think about the schedule rotation? Would you rather a three permanent teams and 6 rotating teams, or would you rather just have one good rivalry game and 7 rotating opponents? I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your comments. Hit me up, and as always, follow on social media at Terry J on Air. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and definitely hit that bell for the notification, so anytime I drop a new video, you instantly get those notifications. And until next time, you know what it is, man. Peace.